Hi, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Tanya. I'm a musician, blogger, passive income and SEO specialist, and adjunct professor at a university. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Exactly how much I make as an adjunct professor. So grab your cup of coffee and let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the fact that I am a music professor. And in the world of music, talking about money is incredibly taboo. And I'm here to just bust through that barrier because I think this is something we need to be talking about. There's not nearly enough transparency because no one wants to talk about how much money they're making. And I know that personally, for me, I was misled as to what I would actually be earning as a full-time professor and especially an adjunct professor. So I think it's important to talk about this just so that you can get an idea of what to expect if this is a field that you're considering pursuing. Okay, I also want to say I love teaching. I love what I do, and that's why I do it. It's not for the money or the lack of money. It's because I love what I do. I truly find joy in teaching other people about music. So let's break this down. Let's start with my qualifications. My bachelor's degree is in music education. And then I have a master's and a doctorate in clarinet performance. So in order to be an adjunct professor at most universities, you need to have a doctorate. At the university I teach at, you have to have a doctorate or the equivalence in experience in order to even be considered as an adjunct professor. And currently, as an adjunct professor, I teach Introduction to Music online, and that's music appreciation. But I have taught in the past clarinet choir, woodwind techniques, music history, music theory. I've pretty much taught it all. I also teach 3 classes a semester, which is 9 credit hours. I spend a good amount of time at the beginning of the semester, probably about 12 hours, getting my course set up, getting all the due dates scheduled, getting the grade book set up, etc. And this has happened over a number of years. It would have taken me longer in the beginning, but now I can do it all in about 12 hours. Then there's the basic running of the course. I have to check my email every day, Monday through Friday. I have to return emails, answer questions of students. I also have to do all of the grading. So this is an asynchronous online course, but there's a lot of grading that has to be done. So that's another thing. When there is an issue with a student, maybe there's an athlete who has a game that's excused, I have to go in and give extensions. So I work probably within this class, 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. Now, when I was teaching in person at the university, then I had to teach in-person classes 3 hours a day in addition to grading. And to be honest, I don't do in-person adjunct work anymore. I don't have time for it. It's not lucrative enough for me. I can't support myself. So know that going into it. So let's talk about what I get paid for all this work. Now, as an adjunct, you don't get paid monthly. You get paid at my university anyway 4 times a semester. And each of those paychecks per semester for those 4 times is $1,517.13. So that's $1,517.13 times 4. Now, 2 semesters, you can make that times 8, which brings the total to $12,137.04. So that's what the typical adjunct at my university makes in a year. Now, I've been there a long time, and I also get to teach 1 summer course. That summer course pays me exactly 1 time the month after I teach it, and that paycheck is $1,999.23. So if we add that to the $12,137.04, we come up with $14,136.27. Now, depending on where you're located, that may seem like a lot of money, but where I live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, the average cost of living is $50,000 a year. So as an adjunct, I'm making $14,136.27. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're going, okay, yeah, but you're part-time. That's a part-time job. Okay, so the average full-time course load is 15 hours. My $14,136 a year is based off of 9 hours. So what a lot of adjuncts do is they get adjunct positions at multiple universities. So now they're working at 2 universities with a full load. They're now teaching 18 hours, which is more than a full-time professor would be teaching. And they are now earning a little over $28,000. So this is not a well-paid position. This is not a lucrative job, especially when I bring in the fact that it doesn't pay benefits. There's no health insurance. There's no retirement. The only benefit I get as an adjunct professor is I don't have to pay for parking on campus, and I teach online, so I never go on campus. So let's look at how much I have to pay every month in health insurance. I buy my health insurance privately on the marketplace because I don't qualify for insurance through my employer. And for that insurance, which has a $7,200 deductible, I am currently paying $547.54 a month. Now multiply that by 12 and then subtract it from $14,136. I'll let you do the math on that one. Okay, so the average rent in the area that I live is $1,100 a month for a very small 1-bedroom apartment in the bad part of town. Okay, so if I were going to do that, I am paying $13,200 a year in rent. And the salary is $2,800. This is almost half of the adjunct salary in rent. This does not include utilities. This does not include that health insurance, which would knock that down a lot more. This does not include any food or groceries, any medical expenses, gas, etc. So obviously you couldn't live off of that. Now, I don't rent, I own my own home, and my mortgage is actually a little less than the average cost of rent. But I also couldn't buy my own home just on that adjunct salary. So let's talk about what else I do to create a full-time income in addition to my adjunct position. So my major source of income is I own a private music studio. I teach private music lessons for a living. I teach primarily clarinet, but I also teach flute, saxophone, and oboe. This job alone brings in approximately $40,000 a year, give or take, depending on my student load. It used to bring in more, but I don't teach as much as I used to because I prefer having a smaller student load. At the most, it was bringing in $60,000 a year. But like I said, I dropped the size of my studio, so it brings about $40,000 a year in. And then the rest of my income comes from passive income. Passive income streams like affiliate marketing on my blog, ad revenue from my blogs, course sales, people being in my SEO, my blogging membership, creative SEO. So these are all things that I do to support myself outside of that adjunct position. As a matter of fact, if that adjunct position went away tomorrow, which it very well could, because that's the other thing, adjunct professors are on a semester-to-semester contract. I could still support myself with my private music studio and my passive income. So those are just a few things to think about if being an adjunct professor is something that you are considering as a career path. I know a lot of adjuncts also start working in that field thinking, well, I will get experience and that will help me get a full-time job. And then if I've been teaching as an adjunct for 4 years, all those years of experience add to my full-time job when I get it. And that's not necessarily the case. Universities are moving away from full-time position and replacing them with adjuncts because adjuncts are cheap labor, okay? They can save so much money by hiring adjuncts, and universities are all about that bottom line. Secondly, once you get a full-time position, all those years that you spend as an adjunct, at least at the university I teach at, do not count toward years of experience. Only years of experience as a full-time professor count. Now, should you become an adjunct professor? I would say that depends. If it's something that you really love doing like me, then yes, absolutely. But no upfront, it is not going to support you. You're gonna need another job to get by. But it is a great option to do something that you love and you enjoy. But if you're really looking for a job that's gonna support you full-time, it is not a career path that I would choose personally. Hopefully this cleared some things up for you on what it's like being an adjunct professor, looking at the numbers, how much I make, and how I'm able to own my own home as an adjunct professor. And it really has nothing to do with being an adjunct professor. It has to do with my other jobs that I do in addition to that. So if you have any questions, drop them below in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up. Until next time, peace out.